We have officially 92 days until 2025. That means we have 92 days to achieve our goals before the end of the year. If you set some goals at the start of 2024 but you have forgotten about it, then this video is for you. Because today we're going to talk about how to achieve your goals in the last 3 months of 2024. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Bri and I'm a pre-qualified psychologist. If you're interested about using psychological tools to improve your life and navigate the world around you, then you should stick around by subscribing. Today we are going to talk about goals, in particular how to achieve our 2024 goals before the end of the year. As there are only 92 days left, I'd say let's get into it as soon as possible. I am going to outline 10 steps in order for you to achieve your goals by the end of the year. So let's start with step 1, gain clarity. If at the start of the year you had some New Year's resolution but you did not write them down, now it's the time to do so. This will help you gain clarity on what your goals actually are. If, on the contrary, you did write your goals down, now is the time to look at them again and see what did you set up for yourself at the start of the year. Step 2 is start with the positive. Instead of focusing right away on what you didn't achieve, I'd say let's start by focusing on what you did achieve. Think about how far you've come since the start of the year and all the amazing things that you have already accomplished. This will help you gain motivations for the next steps. As you have achieved some of your goals already, you can achieve all your other ones as well. Step 3 is identify unachieved goals. After having identified what were the goals that you achieved, you can now identify what were the goals that for one reason or another you did not achieve. It is not important what the reason was, you just need to gain clarity of what goals needs to be either reviewed or needs to be worked towards throughout the last 3 months of 2024. This leads to step 4, that is reflect on the barriers. For each of the goals that you did not achieve, I want you to think about why you didn't achieve them. What was stopping you from achieving those goals? Is it because you forgot about it? Or did something get in the way? Was it something outside of your control? Do you have any fear or limiting belief about this goal that is preventing you from working towards it? Of course, remember that goals can change throughout the year. You are not the same person that you were in January. As you change, your goals change with you. So it is possible that some of your goals do not align with the person that you are now, and that is completely fine. That just means that some of your goals will need to be changed or reviewed or even deleted, as you can decide that it is not something you're interested in achieving anymore. Also, think about whether any of your current habit is getting in the way of you achieving your goals. Step 5 is assess your goals. Now that you have identified what goals you achieved, what goals you did not achieve, and what goals needs to be reviewed, now it's time to decide on which goals you want to focus your energies into throughout the last 3 months of 2024. This is extremely important as you cannot focus all your energy on everything. Energy is a limited resource, so it is extremely important that we recognize what things are actually important and what things are actually worth us putting our energy into. Okay. A dopo. Professor Richard Rumelt, in his book Good Strategy, Bad Strategy, says that good strategy works by focusing energy and resources on one or a very few pivotal objectives whose accomplishment will lead to a cascade of favorable outcomes. And this is what we're doing here. We're deciding on one or a very few points to focus our energies on to make sure that we achieve our goals by the end of the year. And the first way to do that is to carefully select which goals you can realistically achieve by the end of the year. You can also decide that other goals will be your resolutions for 2025. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. life gets in the way, and you are only a human being. So it is realistic to think that you will need to move your goals to next year. Step 6 is think about what needs to change. When reviewing your goals before, you should have also identified what were the things stopping you from achieving these goals. So this step is all about thinking on how you can change that. For example, if you have identified that you have some limiting beliefs that are preventing you from achieving your goals, by the way, you can find the video on overcoming limiting beliefs on my channel. I'm going to leave it somewhere here. Then you can journal and think about how you developed those limiting beliefs in the first place, and maybe you can start challenging them during the last 3 months of 2024. Or if there is some nasty habit that is getting in the way, for example, let's say you were not able to work on your side hustle because you constantly wake up late in the morning, then think about how you can change that. How can you make your morning routine more efficient so that you can actually achieve your New Year's resolution? Step 7 is outline actionable steps. After thinking about how to overcome possible barriers, you're now going to think about what steps are needed for you to actually achieve your goals. So for each goal, I want you to write down 3 actionable steps that you can take in the near future that will bring you closer to that goal. Ideally, you will need to include a deadline. So, for example, if your goal this year was to open a small business, what are the 3 actions that are needed in order for you to achieve your goal by the end of the year? Let's say first action will be to develop a brand name. Second action will be to design a website on a platform like Squarespace or Shopify. And the third step is to launch your first product. For each of these steps, it will be ideal if you included a deadline. So for example, deciding on a brand name, that can take a week, so you can do that in the next week. Designing a website, you can do it by mid-October, and launch your first product, you can do that by the end of December. So let's say December 30th. So now you have 3 small actionable goals that you can actually start to work towards to, and that seem much less scary than launch a new business. Also, for each action, you can also decide that you want to break them down into small habits that you can implement every day to make sure that you're working towards your goal a little bit every single day. So for example, you can decide that every morning from 8 to 9, you will work on designing your website, whilst every evening from 7 to 8, you can read a book or listen to a podcast about opening a small business. Step 8 is obviously implement your action. So of course, you have decided what actions you need to take, but the difference between success and failure is your ability to put those words into actual actions. You will need to start implementing those actions a little bit every day. There are only 90 days, so you can do this. If it helps, you can ask a friend to be your accountability partner, and you can be on this journey together. Or you could also use an habit app to make sure that you're actually ticking off your habits every day. Make sure that you're also very specific on how you're going to implement those actions. So for example, if you decide that you want to make some time for reading every day, it will be ideal to also decide when you're going to read, at what time of the day, and also how many pages, for example. This will close the gap between your intention and your actions, because it will make it more likely that you'll start implementing those habits. Step 9 is constantly review. To make sure that you actually remember to work towards your goal, you need to keep reviewing them. Even if there are only 90 days left until the end of the year, reviewing your goals and reminding yourself of what your goals are is crucial in this process, because you don't want to forget about them. Take some time every week to remind yourself of your goals and plan for the week ahead, thinking about what actions you're going to implement that will make sure that you get closer to your goals every single day. And finally, step 10 is plan for 2025. This is a bit of a bonus point. It's not really related with your past goals, but rather with your future goals. Or also with the goals that you have realized you won't be able to achieve this year. The last 3 months of the year are, yes, a time to work towards the goals that you have not achieved yet, but it's also a time for reflection, to think about how far you've come, and also to plan for the new year so that you don't arrive to January 2025 unprepared and without an idea on what goals you want to achieve next year. Even juggling down some thoughts about possible goals for next year, or just small things that you want to achieve in the notes app of your phone can help you get to 2025 more prepared. So these were 10 steps to achieve your goals by the end of 2024. Hopefully, by implementing these steps, you will be able to end the year having achieved most, if not all, of your 2024 resolutions. And this brings us to the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, you can leave a thumbs up or leave a comment, as it really helps the algorithm apparently. If you like this video, you might also like my video on Lucky Girl Syndrome according to science. I am going to leave it somewhere here and on the end screen. And that is really all for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!